Robert and Linda spread 5 bills across the kitchen table: Medicare, property tax, income tax, prescriptions, the phone. The Medicare premium alone runs $202.90, gone before his check lands. Everyone leaves automatically, more than $10,000 a year. But the law says a senior who qualifies owes none of it. No discount, the whole thing gone. Robert's paid on time for bills that were never his. But that money never comes back on its own. Start with the $202.90. His own state runs a program built to pay it back, plus thousands more, from one form most who qualify have never heard named. It sits silent until you ask. I'm Uncle Bill, and in this video I'll walk Robert and his wife Linda through 5 bills seniors are charged but legally don't owe. Who qualifies, what each pays back, and the one form that covers the Medicare premium and triggers thousands more by itself. By the end, you'll see the door worth close to $8,000 a year and the quiet mistake that keeps it draining. Robert and Linda spread their bills across the kitchen table. Sure, every dollar is owed. Medicare, property tax, income tax, prescriptions, the phone. Uncle Bill watches, then says, "More than $10,000 a year of that pile was never yours to pay. Not saved up someday. $10,000 a year, right now." Robert's first guess is a senior discount. Linda pictures coupons a few cents off each line, and every bill there leaves on its own, skimmed from the check, mailed on schedule. So by every instinct, a bill that leaves automatically is a bill you owe. But this isn't a coupon that shaves off a little, it's an eraser that takes the whole line to zero. The entire bill, gone because nobody ever told them they were allowed to stop. Add up all 5 and a senior who qualifies hands over more than $10,000 a year, the law says, they don't owe. So Robert files it away as settled. These are just the bills you pay at 65. But to see how that's even possible, you have to meet the 5 bills one by one, starting with the one already leaving your check before you touch it. Uncle Bill points to the first bill, Medicare Part B, $202.90 a month in 2026. It's pulled straight out of the Social Security check before that check ever lands. About $2,435 a year, skimmed off the top. Automatic. Robert never wrote a check for it and never got an envelope in the mail. Everyone they know pays it the same way. Money off the top, every month, nobody asking why. But a bill you never see leave is the easiest one of all to overpay. And this is the one the whole video is quietly built around. $202.90 a month for the rest of retirement gone before it reaches his hands. Most people never once ask whether it has to be paid. It looks as fixed as the sunrise. So Robert files it under the plain price of having Medicare, with no idea a program exists whose only job is to hand every dollar of it back. But the premium isn't even the biggest bill on the table. For a homeowner, the next one usually is. Roberts runs a few thousand a year, and every year the county's notice lands a little higher than the last. As home values rise, the tax rises with them. He watches his neighbor's bills climb and assumes his simply has to climb too. But a bill that only climbs is exactly the kind that hides a stop button most people never know is there. For most homeowners, it's the single largest bill they face all year. Thousands of dollars due like clockwork, and they pay it the way they pay all the others. Because they always have. So Robert pencils it in as unavoidable. The price of owning a home, certain this is one bill that can only grow. But paying a bill that only climbs isn't the only thing seniors accept without asking. There's one almost everyone believes is unavoidable. The third bill is the one nobody would ever think to question: federal income tax. Every April, Robert files and pays because that's what everyone does. You owe the government something, no matter what. It doesn't even feel like a bill to him. Linda nods along. Everybody owes taxes. That's just being a citizen. Of all 5, this is the one they defend, the one they're most sure is carved in stone. But the bill people are most certain they owe is the one the law is quietly telling many seniors to stop paying entirely. Robert has paid something every April of his adult life. It never once occurred to him the right number could be 0. The belief runs so deep that even hearing "you might owe nothing" sounds like a trick. So he files it away as the most unquestionable bill of all, the one thing he's positive he owes. But taxes aren't the only automatic drain. The next bill hits at a place seniors visit far more often than the tax office. The fourth bill is the one Robert hands over in person, more often than any other, the pharmacy counter. The prescriptions, the copays, the drug plan premium, for someone on several medications, it stacks up month after month. It feels like the one bill nobody can argue with. You need the medicine, so you pay what the counter says. But the price at that counter is one of the easiest of all 5 to cut. The government keeps a benefit sitting right there with your name on it. For someone on several medications, drug costs are the line between filling the prescription and splitting tablets to make it last. So Robert files the pharmacy bill under just what medicine costs, with no idea there's an envelope worth thousands waiting at that exact counter. But there's a 5th bill, the smallest of them all, so small most people would never bother to question it. The phone and internet bill. It's small enough that questioning it feels like a waste of a phone call. You just pay it and move on. Now, Uncle Bill lines up all 5: Medicare, property tax, income tax, prescriptions, phone, ranked biggest to smallest. Robert sees them the way anyone would. 5 faucets draining the same tub, everyone leaving the account like clockwork. Linda looks at the row. So that's the pile. 5 bills, and we've paid all 5 our whole lives. But that neat ranking by size is about to fall apart. The smallest bill is hiding the exact trick all 5 share. 5 bills lined up and labeled. The whole field is finally on the table. By size, the phone bill looks like the one least worth the trouble. A few dollars, not worth the effort. So Robert's certainty is complete. 5 bills, all owed, ranked, and settled. But that ranking by size is about to fall apart because the smallest bill on the list is hiding the exact trick all 5 of them share. Property tax doesn't get shaved, it gets frozen. Many states offer a senior freeze. The year you qualify, the value your home is taxed on locks in place for life. Robert pictures a small discount. Uncle Bill. No, the number stops moving entirely. In Texas, the school tax ceiling does exactly that, with no income limit at all. Your age alone qualifies you. On top of it stacks a $100,000 general exemption plus a $60,000 over 65 exemption. A home worth $160,000 or less owes 0 school tax. But this freeze isn't handed to you for turning 65. It comes with a trap so quiet it costs people the whole thing. Frozen for life means every year the neighbors pay more and Robert pays the same. 0 school tax on a modest home is one of the biggest single bills a homeowner has wiped off the page. And it's the same shape as the phone benefit, written for you and dormant until you claim it. But that freeze comes with a trap so quiet it costs people the whole benefit, and it's the same trap hiding behind all 5 bills. The phone, the one Robert was ready to ignore, and Uncle Bill turns it over. There's a federal benefit called Lifeline that takes $9.25 a month off phone or internet. On tribal lands, $34.25. Robert assumes it's a discount the phone company chooses to give, something you earn or haggle for. Linda figures it's like a coupon. Small, probably not worth the paperwork. $9 a month sounds like pocket change against the bigger bills. But Lifeline isn't a discount a company gives you. It's a benefit already written in your name that never switches on by itself. It's a standing federal benefit, waiting. Tiny, steady, and completely untouched until the day you claim it. Nobody at the phone company calls to turn it on. It sits there, off, like a light nobody flipped. But if the smallest bill on the list is a benefit waiting to be switched on, watch what happens when you turn that same lens on the biggest one a homeowner pays. The freeze is almost never automatic. You have to file for it, usually in the year you turn the qualifying age. Robert assumes the county knows his birthday and will lower the bill on its own, out of fairness. Linda asks the sharp one, "And if we don't know to file that year, Uncle Bill?" That year is simply gone. Most states will not go back and give it to you. But the county has no reason to remind you, because every dollar the freeze saves you is a dollar it stops collecting. Miss the window and that whole year's saving vanishes. Not delayed, gone, and it never reopens for the year you skipped. The county will not look at your age and quietly lower your bill out of kindness. The paperwork is the only key, so the biggest homeowner bill can be frozen the moment you file or drain on forever if you never do. Same benefit, opposite lives, decided by one form. But if a homeowner's biggest bill can be frozen the moment they file, the tax everyone fears most can do something even stranger. It can vanish entirely. Then Uncle Bill drops the new one, a bonus deduction worth up to $6,000 for a single senior, $12,000 for a married couple, both over 65. Robert and Linda are both past 65. That's a $12,000 umbrella they never knew existed. Stack it on the rest, and a single filer 65 and up shields $24,150 of income in 2026. For a typical retirement income, that's enough to bring the federal tax to nothing. Linda catches the fine print. If it started in 2025, is it here to stay? But this bonus exists only for tax years 2025 through 2028. It's a claim it every year window, not a someday thing. A second, wider umbrella snapped open over the first. Together, they cover a whole retirement income. Skip claiming it in any given year, and that year's break is gone, exactly like the property tax window. So the tax everyone fears most can legally land at zero for millions of seniors right now. But the strangest part of this bill isn't how much it saves, it's which direction it's pointed. Uncle Bill takes the bill Robert was most sure of, income tax, and says the word that stops him. For a lot of folks your age, the right number owed is zero. Zero. Robert almost laughs. Everyone owes something. For many older Americans living on Social Security plus a little on top, the correct tax owed is nothing at all. The reason is the standard deduction, the slice of income the government leaves untouched, and it grows the year you turn 65. In 2026, that's an extra $2,050 for a single filer, shrinking the income that can be taxed. But that automatic bump at 65 is only the start. The umbrella got dramatically wider this year. Picture the deduction as an umbrella, everything under it stays dry. At 65, the umbrella widens on its own, and for a retirement-sized income, it can shade nearly the whole thing. So, everyone owes every April quietly becomes many seniors owe nothing. But the deduction that turns everyone owes into you owe nothing got dramatically bigger this year, and it's the reason so many are still paying the old way. Uncle Bill walks Robert back to the pharmacy counter and points at something he'd passed every visit, a benefit called Extra Help. It lowers your medications, your co-pays, your drug plan premium, the whole pharmacy bill cut down. Robert assumes it's only for the truly broke. Surely he makes a little too much to qualify. Uncle Bill, even if your income is a bit high for the big state program, you can apply for Extra Help on its own, straight through Social Security. Linda, so it's a separate door, one we can walk through by ourselves? But the real shock isn't that it's a separate door, it's how much is sitting behind it, waiting on one form. The government itself values Extra Help at around $5,700 a year. A second envelope with Robert's name on it, right there on the counter. It's been there the whole time, waiting on nothing but a form. And that same $5,700 is about to show up again, as the hidden half of the biggest door on the table. But that same $5,700 benefit is also the hidden half of the biggest door on the table, the one that pays your Medicare premium too. It leads straight back to the very first bill, the $202.90 skimmed off Robert's check. It's the Medicare savings program run by your own state, and its whole job is to pay that premium for you. That's about $2,435 a year handed back into the check, the exact drain from the opening, reversed. Robert's sure his income is too high, a program only for people with nothing, Uncle Bill. The lines are higher than most assume, roughly under $1,350 a month for the most generous version, which also covers deductibles and copays. But even above that, there's a version that still wipes out the premium entirely, up to about $1,616 a month in income. The program's only purpose is to pay the $202.90 back, the money that left before Robert ever saw it. And the cutoffs land well above where Robert guessed, catching far more people than the name suggests. Yet paying the premium is only half of what that single application does. But paying the premium is only half of what that one application does. The other half is the $5,700 you just met. Enroll in the Medicare Savings Program. Uncle Bill says, and Extra Help switches on too. The same $5,700 drug benefit, no second application. One door, two prizes. Put them together, the $2,435 premium paid back, plus the $5,700 in drug help. Robert works it out on his face. That's close to $8,000 a year from a single form. Linda, quiet. $8,000 from one application we'd never even heard of. But the part that stings isn't the $8,000. It's that most of the people who qualify have never once heard this program named out loud. One form, filed one time, worth close to $8,000 a year. It's the single most valuable door on the table, opened by paperwork that felt too small to bother with. And the enigma from the intro finally cracks. The $202.90 that was never yours to pay comes back, plus thousands more. But if one form is worth $8,000 a year, the real question is the one from the very beginning. Why is that money still draining out of so many accounts? Now Uncle Bill lines all 5 back up. Not one of them turns itself off. Every single one waits silent until you personally reach out. The program that pays your premium waits until you apply. The property tax freeze waits until you file. The deductions only work if the return is done right. The drug help and the phone discount sit untouched until you ask. Robert sees it plainly. 5 switches, all wired to help him, everyone left off. But here's the quiet cruelty. Every one of these was written into law to help you, then wrapped in just enough paperwork that most people never start. The house was built in the seniors' favor and nobody flipped a single switch because no switch flips on its own. 5 benefits, real and sizable, all dormant by default. The exact trait the smallest bill revealed. Now true of all 5. So, the money keeps draining for one structural reason. Relief only switches on when you claim it. But if they were all built to help you, someone has to explain why they stay hidden. And the reason is the quiet thing this whole video has been circling. Pick the biggest door for your life, Uncle Bill says, and chase it down this week. Robert and Linda look at the pile on the table, no longer sure a single dollar of it is truly owed. If Medicare comes out of your check, call your state about the Medicare Savings Program first. That's the $8,000 door. If you own your home, call the county about the property tax freeze before the filing window closes. If you file a return, make sure the age 65 deductions are actually on it. Ask the one question. But you only have to open one because the money waiting behind it has belonged to you the whole time. Go back to where it started. The $202.90 leaving the check every month as if it were never his. It was his all along, handed back the moment he asks, along with thousands more.